Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. Well, it's turned out to be a very interesting expiry, the final one for the year of 2019, where we did see the India index come off by around 0.7%, as you can see on your screen here, and we have seen a drop around 88 points. However, the Nifty has held on to the mark of 12,126 to be precise. We don't have too much to go for in terms of momentum and gainers in today's day of trade. Say for something like an ONGC or Vedanta, JSW Steel and NTPC advancing but less than 1%. We do have more weakness in Yes Bank, which is down 4%, but the Airtel, Reliance Industries, along with something like an Adani Ports or Sun Pharma, well, weighing down on the indices. But if you consider the heavyweights, it was essentially HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries, well, contributing to a little less than half the declines, the 88-point decline on the Nifty. Moving on to your broader markets, we have a fewer gainers as against losers, even though it may be, well, almost evenly poised between advance and declines on the NSE 500. But we do have gains in something like an Infibeam Avenues, Bank of Maharashtra advancing, as was the case for Indian Overseas Bank. And of course, Dishman Carbogen along with Sundaram Fasteners also advancing. But while we did have two gainers in the public sector space, we also had a handful of losers in the public sector banking, banking space, where you do have Syndicate Bank, Union Bank, Allahabad Bank, all of them declining in trade, along with something like a Shilpa Medicare and Prestige Estates. But on that note, let me get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts on the markets. Neeraj, what are your observations today?
Well, frankly, leave out HDFC and Reliance, it's a listless day of trade, as the broader markets have also shown that while the breadth was in the green, it was a very flattish kind of a afternoon of trade. So not much to write home about. We'll probably wait for tomorrow to see if indeed there's a bit of a bounce from these levels, because mind you, the Asian markets which are working were not exactly in the red. We sulked because of these two or three names. I mean, those two or three names could come back as well, because they're very strong names. And well, frankly, Reliance has corrected quite a bit already. I mean, almost 80-85 points from the levels that it was at. So maybe there's a bit of a bounce in place. And select names showed some serious traction out here. It didn't seem like a day when people were sulking, because you had a bounce back point, Dishman Carbogen, you had the specialty chemical names doing well, Dixon and some of the others hitting fresh highs too. So pretty interesting movement. Well, maybe one odd day, the volumes were not too high either. Maybe tomorrow it bounces back, who knows?
Fair enough, Neeraj. Thanks for that perspective there. So that's as far as your broader markets go. But let's talk about a handful of stocks which did perhaps have some implications with respect to broking houses and their views. We have Equirus coming out of the note. I'm going to get Somit Sarkar to talk to us about that. Somit, what do you have for us?
So Equirus initiated coverage on all the three oil marketing companies, that is Indian Oil Corporation, HPCL and BPCL. So according to the brokerage, they're expecting a cyclical uptick in the refining margins driven by IMO 2020 regulations and below than expected capacity addition for beyond 2021. Now they're also seeing that higher distillate and yields and upgrades of the refining margins would result in stronger earnings for all the three oil marketing companies. However, they are bullish more on Indian Oil Corporation and BPCL over HPCL, given the likelihood of higher GRM expansion, stronger earnings growth and better dividend yields. Now they are HPCL is the least preferred oil marketing companies among the state-owned OMCs, and that is because of higher capital expenditure that the company has planned and because of higher net debt to EBITDA, that is the leverage ratio of the company. So they have on Indian Oil Corporation, they have initiated a long rating with the target price of 176 rupees. For BPCL, it's an ad rating with a target price of 522, and for HPCL, it's a reduced rating with a target price of 273 rupees.
All right, Somit, thanks for getting us those updates. So that's your view on OMCs, but on that note, I'm going to get in Sharad Dubey to talk to us about two other stocks that have been buzzing today. Sharad?
Yes, Agama. The first stock I would like to talk about is Dishman Carbogen AMSIS. The stock was up almost 5.6% up today, and it actually halted its 6-day losing streak, and this actually hit an upper circuit of 10%. The price band was revised yesterday itself. So basically, the search operations by the IT department have concluded for the company. So this was reported by the company itself that from 19th December till 25th December, these search operations were there. During this period, the company lost almost 50 to 60 odd %. Now, if you just see the stock price reaction itself, you can see over here itself, from the day the inspection started, from the levels of almost 120, the stock fell as low as almost around 73 to 74 mark. But today during the post-market hours, yesterday itself, the company came out with an announcement, and so after that the stock has been in the upper circuit, but still, if you see, the stock is down almost more than 50%, and it is at almost 79.3 rupees. Yesterday itself, Motilal Oswal, AMC also did sell almost 25 lakh shares. That translates into almost 1.5% stake in the company. And the next stock is from the auto space, which we are discussing today in FAB4 as well. Mahindra CIE Automotives, the stock was up almost 7.7% and ended the day at almost 5.6%. That was its highest level seen in almost 3 months itself. So the buzz is in the auto ancillary as well as the auto space as a whole, that there's an anticipation of a potential scrappage policy being implemented in this budget, which we are expecting. So that is something which we'll be watching out for. Agam, so these two stocks are buzzing in the space today.
All right, Sharad, thanks for getting us those updates on, well, a handful of buzzing mid-cap counters. And, as Neeraj mentioned, save for Reliance Industries and HDFC Bank, we really haven't seen too much movement. And in fact, the index also came off largely on account and on the weight of these two stocks. Can we expect a recovery going forward? That's something that we're going to have to wait and watch out for. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets. But there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.